Ever feel like there's something missing? Like you're craving a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you? Maybe you've heard something about spirituality and you're interested to know more. Maybe you're here for mental health reasons. And maybe you're just not really sure where to begin. Well, you're in the right place because that's exactly what we're getting into today. Stick around. Hey, hola, familia. Welcome back to Mindset with Mila Faye, where we explore simple ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Today's topic is one I'm super passionate about. We're going to be building a spiritual practice to support mental health. Especially if you're starting from scratch, this is a perfect place to start. We're going to define spirituality in a way that's actually digestible. And no matter really what your background or your beliefs are, this is a safe place for everyone. We're going to introduce some foundational practices and talk about connecting to a deeper part of you that we usually like to call your higher self. Sounds good? Let's jump in. So, just to get this out of the way, what is spirituality exactly? So, spirituality to me is all about connection. So, connecting with yourself on a deeper level, connecting with others, connecting with something that's bigger than you. Whatever that means for you personally. It could mean God, it could mean the universe, nature. Really, it's just the feeling of interconnectedness that we're all one here. And here's the thing, spirituality doesn't have to be religious. I don't know what you've heard, but drop the stories. Honestly, you can be religious, you could not be. It's more about finding a sense of peace in your day and in your life so that we can tap into this sense of something greater. And it really, really can help with mental health, especially when you are feeling overloaded, overwhelmed, isolated, anxious. Now, let's talk about how to start. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the word spirituality or really any word. It's just easy to get overwhelmed in general now. So let's break it down in the three basic practices that can kind of form the foundation of your spiritual routine. And you can kind of think of these as your starter kit for spiritual self-care. The first one, and I know you've heard this before for good reason, is meditation. So meditation does not need to be 30 minutes of stillness. It can be as short as 2 to 5 minutes of just breathing deeply and focusing on the present moment and sitting in gratitude. Some days I literally just close my eyes, take a few breaths, and let my thoughts settle and slow down. And that's it. And if you're new, I would definitely suggest trying guided meditation on YouTube or Spotify, whatever helps you kind of ease into this. There's tons of great ways that are here to help you so that you don't have to feel like you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where to start, and therefore you just won't do it. Number two, intention setting. I love intention setting because we can really set ourselves up for a successful outcome with this simple tool. As I mentioned in the last video, you are a magnet and you are always attracting, no matter whether you're attracting something positive or something negative. You are always attracting something. So tap into, what are you attracting? Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Where am I not showing up for myself? And therefore, I am being reflected that back into my world. The last thing is mantras with movement. This is just movement paired with intention. And again, you can ask yourself while you're stretching or while you're on a walk, how am I feeling? What's going on internally? What would feel supportive for me in this moment? How can I love myself more? Really moving the body helps us process these emotions, and asking ourselves while we're processing these emotions is so supportive to our inner child and our present day self so that we can continue to move through these, do the work, and come out better the other side. These are just three things that you can start to incorporate into your daily routine. Your mindfulness routine is something that you could focus on every day, multiple times a day. The more you do focus on it, the easier it becomes. You really start to have this immediate reaction to just check in with yourself so that you can see, how can I help myself more? Because as I care for myself and love myself and take good care in helping myself, the better I can show up for those around me. Over time, these tools add up and they will help you feel more grounded, more confident, more secure in your skin, in your body, and really less at the mercy of life's chaos. So now we can talk about this idea of a higher self, right? Or your inner wisdom. This is kind of like your intuition as well. So this is the part of you that's already so calm and loving and aware, and it's the best version of you that's light years ahead, that knows your path that you will walk and is here to support you along the way 150%. Even when your fears and your doubts are trying to drown you, this is still the voice of reason in your head. And connecting with your higher self is such a powerful tool, can bring you such a sense of purpose and peace, knowing that you have something looking out for you at all times that is devoted to you and you only. So some practical tips to connect with your higher self. You can do a quiet reflection. So you take 5 minutes in silence, no phone, no distractions. Just breathe and listen. Close your eyes and you can ask yourself in your head, what would you like to tell me, right? Call in your higher self. Is there a message you can tell me? Is there a message you can share? And you'd be surprised about the insights that will come through when you give your inner voice a moment to speak. You can also journal with intention. So you can grab a notebook and you can write down, higher self, what do I need to hear right now? And then free write whatever comes up. Don't overthink it. Don't question it. Just don't let the pen stop moving. Sometimes the most profound guidance flows out of you when you just let go of expectations. Also, visualizations is such a powerful tool because whatever you visualize in your life and whatever the feelings you have is what you will bring into your life. That's what you will manifest. So you can picture yourself, your higher self, in your mind, and it's you, but it's the most advanced version of you, glowing with serenity, calm, grounded, peaceful. Ask a question. Observe any feelings and thoughts that come through. Even if this feels a little bit weird at first, just trust the process. With practice, it gets much more natural. And it's so fun once you start to have a relationship with this higher self and you can continue to have conversations with them and allow the guidance to drop in. It's an incredible tool that we all have. It can really help you navigate through these mental health struggles that I know so many of us struggle from, reminding you that no matter what's happening externally, there is a well of peace and strength inside of you. So I want to get real with you for a sec because my journey with spirituality did not start in a peaceful place. Just a few years ago, I was living a completely different life. I was drinking a lot, partying way too much, and honestly, I felt so disconnected from myself. I was constantly distracting myself. I was chasing the next distraction, trying to fill voids that I really couldn't quite explain or have awareness of at that time. But deep down, in my heart of hearts, I knew I was not aligned with who I wanted to be. I knew that the lifestyle that I was living was not in alignment with how I wanted to be living my life. It finally hit me when I realized how much I was relying on things outside of myself to feel okay. I was avoiding being still. I was avoiding me. And that realization was so hard. So I had to make the change. I left the city. I moved closer to nature, like way closer, and really started to figure out what was working for me and what wasn't. It was messy. I struggled so hard. I struggled to let go of habits and relationships and even tons of different parts of my identity that I thought I would never release. I could never release. I held on to them because they felt familiar, even when they were holding me back. But here's the truth. Growth feels uncomfortable. Shedding old versions of yourself, not easy. But when I started reconnecting to the simple things like being in nature, journaling, just being with intention. Things started shifting, not overnight, but gradually. I realized that peace wasn't something I had to find. It was something I had to create by making space for it. So, if you're in that place of wondering if you can really let go of what's no longer serving you and what's holding you back, I want you to know that you can. It starts small, one honest moment with yourself at a time. So, action steps. You're going to create your own spiritual self care kit. Just pick one of the 3 practices. So, meditation, intention setting, mantras with movement to commit to at least this week. Start with this week. See if you can get through this week. Maybe like 2 to 5 minutes a day. Keep it simple. Also, just get curious. So, journal and reflect on what this all might mean for you. Let yourself have an inner dialogue with your pen and paper or in your head. You can start to ease into the idea that things might be shifting for you, and that's okay. Change is good, even though it might be a little bit uncomfortable. And finally, just stay consistent. You don't have to do all the things at once. Little daily moments count more than one massive session that you would only do once a month. Remember that spirituality is about finding a deeper connection that helps you feel supported from the inside out. Whether you're spiritual or religious or still figuring it out, these practices can seriously boost your mental health and help you find more peace in the chaos of life. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with somebody who might need to hear the message, who also might be wondering about these things. Comment down below, what is the spiritual practice that you're going to try this week? If you already have spiritual practices that you love, also share it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Mindset with Mila Faye, and remember, you have the power to create a life that feels aligned and meaningful, one step at a time. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.